Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and now that all of the press conferences from E3 are done, I'm here to give you my thoughts on Sony's press conference, since, you know, I'm a big Sony fanboy, and I have to admit, despite how easy that Sony has been able to knock it out of the park year after year after year, I have to admit, this year, despite them having just a couple of really good moments, I really thought that this press conference was a little bit lacking because they didn't really announce anything new. Everything that they showed was pretty much things that we knew. So I was a little bit upset about that. And I mean, it's not really a bad thing because they did show things that I'm like, okay, I'm pumped up to play this game, but it kind of felt like maybe they didn't show anything because, as you know, as Sony has stated, we were probably entering like the last fourth of this system's lifespan before they're probably like, or maybe like a year or two away from them announcing the PlayStation 5, and it was kind of crazy because it kind of felt like this generation kind of just started. It's so crazy how fast it went by. So and that's why I felt it was just a slightly underwhelming. And to be honest, I could even go so far as to say that I thought Microsoft's press conference was a little bit better, because for Sony, they tried to do something different by having like the audience be in some tent and they were moving them around, and I just thought that was weird. And like at the beginning of their press conferences, like they just did a lot of weird stuff that I just thought that just wasted a lot of time. But to go over what they actually showed off, the first thing that they showed off was Naughty Dog's new game, which I don't really want to talk about because it's basically the sequel to probably my third most hated video game of all time. I mean, it's like FF13 is 1, DMC is 2, this is number 3. And I don't hate this game for the reason you might think. This is like the one game that I don't hate it because I hate it. I hate this game because the fans made me hate it. And I want no part of this game. I don't want to talk about it on my channel. I don't want to acknowledge it. I will not be playing this. I'm not going to give it a chance. Even when it comes out, I don't want to talk to anyone about this. So please don't ask me about it in the comment section. Just please, I don't want to talk about it. If you really want to know why, just private message me and I'll try to give you not too long of an explanation. So, moving on from that, they finally showed us some gameplay for Ghost of Tsushima. I hope I said that right. Now this was announced at PlayStation Experience last year, and I was actually in the audience when they talked a little bit about that. And I thought it was awesome. It's kind of like an open world samurai game, and as far as I can remember, I haven't really played too many samurai games. I think like maybe the closest like action oriented game I've played like that was maybe Metal Gear Rising, but that was more of like a robot ninja type of thing, but it wasn't open world. It was kind of linear and pretty badass. But this is certainly something that I'm fascinated by. I don't think I need to see too much of it because this is from Sucker Punch, and I'm absolutely in love with their infamous franchise. So the fact that they want to go in this direction and focus on Japan and the story around samurais, I thought was an absolutely incredible decision, and something that I'm looking forward to getting my hands on when it comes out, hopefully in next year. Then they showed us some trailer for a game called Control. I can't really say too much of it because it looked kind of weird. I don't even know if this was like an indie game, but no, it showed off some interesting gameplay. Not really sure if it's the type of game that I will be picking up when it comes out, but I don't know, maybe if enough people recommend it to me when it comes out, I might give it a chance, but it's just currently not really on my radar of games I want to play next year, if that's when it comes out. Then the absolute highlight of the conference, which if you've seen my previous video before this, then you know what I'm talking about. They finally showed us some gameplay for Resident Evil 2 Remake. I am completely ecstatic for this. This is like one of like the top 5 games I wish I could have played, but with better controls. Because I'm sorry for you old school Resident Evil fans, those controls for the first 3 games make those games damn near unplayable. I'm sorry, I don't care if it was supposed to be for the experience. Crappy camera angles and crappy controls to enhance the experience is not a smart decision. That's just dumb, and for us new players, or technically newer fans of the franchise, they don't work. I started playing Resident Evil with Resident Evil 4. That's kind of how I want some of those older games to be played, and Capcom listened to us. We are getting our wish. I'm pumped up for it. I want to get my hands on it. I want to stream this sucker, and hopefully this might even get on the list of games that could legitimately scare me. But heck, only time will tell for that. Next, they then showed us some more gameplay for Kingdom Hearts 3, which they have been showing us a lot of gameplay for Kingdom Hearts, which comes out early next year. And this time they showed us some some gameplay from the Pirates of the Caribbean, specifically from at World's End, which I thought was kind of odd. But overall, the combat, the gameplay, it looks significantly much faster than it was in Kingdom Hearts 2, which is something I really appreciate. I like the outfits, look of the characters. The story is getting a little bit too all over the place because it's literally at this point become like one of the most convoluted stories I think has ever been written at this point. Hopefully they'll find some way to simplify this, because this game is supposed to be for children because it's so Disney focused, but you know, who knows what they'll do. That's all I'm asking for at this point. I'm asking for whatever storyline we're in to end it here and just have us have a conclusion that makes sense, because I just want to know what's going on. After Kingdom Hearts 2, things just kind of went off a cliff and we haven't really recovered much since. Then they showed us some gameplay finally for Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima's game. And this is a very fascinating game. I think I understand this game's plot maybe like 30%. It's still a little bit mysterious. I'm probably gonna have to do a little bit more research on this game from other gamers' theories. But if there's one thing Hideo Kojima can do, he has a way of telling a type of story that is really interesting, but he doesn't really give you all the information. You really have to kind of dig into yourself and figure it as you go. And I really appreciate that from him. And there's definitely going to be a serious focus on stealth, which, you know, he's the creator of Metal Gear, so we know he's got that down to like a master level. Yeah, this was by far the most intriguing game that I think I've heard anyone online talk about for like the last couple of years since it was originally announced, and I am really fascinated to get my hands on it if it comes out next year, because I trust Hideo Kojima and I know he will not let us down, and we're gonna get one hell of a fascinating experience when this comes out. And the last thing that they showed us was some gameplay for the upcoming SpiderMan game, which comes out exclusively for the PlayStation. I thought the gameplay looked pretty incredible. This, I think, gameplay-wise, looks like the best Spider-Man game we've ever seen. And it basically just showed him swinging and fighting around this prison, and apparently the Sinister Six are going to be involved. That'll be interesting, although it did seem kind of odd how the Sinister Six pretty much had Spider-Man beaten and it looked like they were going to kill him, and then someone shows up, and I'm like... I'm real sorry about that. And yeah, this is a game I've already pre-ordered and can't wait to get my hands on it, and probably will be something that I am streaming. So that's pretty much everything that they showed us at Sony's press conference. Again, I thought it was a good press conference. I didn't really enjoy it as much as Microsoft. I wasn't really as impressed. They did have two very big high point moments, but I think next year they just need to stick a little bit more traditional. They want to try to enhance one's experience, and I just didn't really think that worked. It just dragged it out a little bit longer than I think it needed to, and they should have just focused on the games. And there was a good focus of it, but just have it be a little more straightforward. So those are my thoughts on the Sony press conference for E3 this year. I'd like to know, what was the biggest surprise? What were you most excited to see at this press conference? Share your thoughts with me and everyone else in the comments down below. And if you like this video, feel free to like, comment down below, and please subscribe to check out my future videos. And please also don't forget to press one of the links in the description down below to follow me on Twitter and friend me on Facebook to keep track of me and my future videos. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.